Hello, everybody. How you doing? It's Damien again with this time. I want to do two in one because I don't feel like doing two videos on this one. Uh, I know there's a King of the Ring basically now. I feel like it's the way that WWE does it nowadays. It's fatal four way for the opening rounds and just singles match for the other rounds, and I think it's kind of lazy. It's like maybe not lazy, but hasty. It's like hastily done, rushed, and I feel like if you want to have a different route every for every basically round. One way that could have been basically done is every round is a different approach. So basically, first round there'll be four rounds, not three, because I want back to four rounds. Four, and my approach would simply be the first round is fatal four ways. The second round are triple threat matches. So that will be the first two. So the first we'll start with Obafemi versus the IC champion Penta versus Carmelo Hayes, Solo Sikoa. And like in life, Obafemi wins by pinning Solo Sikoa. Second match, Dominic Mysterio versus Braun Breaker. Well, he's a World Tag Champion versus Damian Priest, a W Tag Champion versus Trick Williams versus US Champion. Again, Dominic Mysterio sneaks up and takes pins Damian Priest to advance. You have Javon Evans versus Seth Rollins versus Style Tonga versus Ricky Saints. You can have Javon Evans win. LA Knight versus Jay Uso versus Royce Keys versus Finn Balor. I would have LA Knight win. And any other match I would have booked, for example, it'd be Rey Mysterio versus JD McDonough versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus The Miz. And I want unlike in real life, I don't want SmackDown to be shut out. So I'd have The Miz win. Again, Miz would have not doesn't have to basically be dominant, just wins. He sneaks up for the pin. Then you could have Rusev versus Jimmy Uso versus Tama Tonga versus Ray Phoenix. I have Tama Tonga win for a reason. So LA Knight would have won his match by pinning Jey Uso, by the way. So that's very important. Then you would have Austin Theory. Well, different. Austin Theory versus Akira Tozawa versus Uno versus Grayson Waller will be traded to SmackDown. Come on. Austin Theory wins. Then we have Dragon Lee versus Ethan Page versus Tony D'Angelo, the NXT champion, versus Brutus Creed. Dragon Lee wins by pinning Brutus Creed. I'm sorry. Ethan Page wins by pinning Brutus Creed. Then you have Montez Ford against Otis versus Eric versus Noam Dar. Of course, Montez Ford wins. You have Joe Andrew versus Berto versus Ivar versus Tyler Bate. Joe Andrew wins. Then you have Joaquin Phoenix is not a wrestler. Joaquin Wild, which is the former DJ Zima Ion, versus Angel Garza versus Matt Cardona versus Nathan Frazier. Matt Cardona wins, advance, and then the final match of the first round will be Cruz Del Toro versus Julius Creed, the other Creed, versus Kit Wilson versus Axiom. The anti-toxic one, Kit Wilson wins. So you have 12 people basically advancing in the second round. Why? Because I want all four matches to be in the second round to be triple threat matches. You have Obafemi versus Javon Evans versus Dominic Mysterio. You have Obafemi win by via pinning Dominic Mysterio. You protect Javon Evans, but Javon, it's an OG cutter on Obafemi. Dominic Mysterio tries to cheat his way. He hits Javon Evans with his boot and tries to hit him with a frog splash, but he's caught in midair by fall from grace by Obafemi 1, 2, 3. You have LA Knight versus The Miz versus Tama Tonga. LA Knight already pinned one person in the family of Roman Reigns. Miz tries to deliver the front skull for caution finale, but he's blocked and thwarting his attempts with the what's the name of the finisher of Tama Tonga? He gets hit by that, and LA Knight does a BFT to Tama Tonga to win an advance. You have Austin Theory versus Ethan Page versus Montez Ford. Here, everybody's from Raw. So yeah, I would have in this case Ethan Page going on the semifinals via pinning Austin Theory. And in the final first round match, you have Joe Hendry versus Kit Wilson versus Matt Cardona. And would have somebody from SmackDown win, and since Kit Wilson is really, really incredible, I was thinking Joe Hendry, but Joe Hendry would not be the guy pinned, it'd be Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona would be pinned by Kit Wilson. So we lead up to semifinals. At least one person from semifinals will go on from SmackDown. And this is where I'm not sure what I would do. I'm not sure. You could actually have a different structure in the semifinals. Isn't really a semifinals, it's a tag match between two people taking a random. And you could have this with the winner, the team that wins happen to fight each other in the finals, or you could have actually semifinal matches. That's fine either. Because in that case, if it's a tag match, it'd be Obafemi and LA Knight teaming up against Kit Wilson and Ethan Page, faces against heel. In that case, it will lead to Obafemi and LA Knight winning via Obafemi pinning Ethan Page. And if it's not, if it's a singles match, you can have basically Obafemi pinning Ethan Page and LA Knight pinning Kit Wilson. But anyway, the finals to me will be Obafemi versus LA Knight. In that case, if LA can win, you can have both of them win. At this point, it's win-win. Both are faces. Obafemi can win, but he wouldn't destroy LA Knight like with ease. It would take 12 minutes for it to happen. Or could have actually LA Knight pull out the win, but due to it be tainted due to Brock Lesnar's interference. But Obafemi or LA Knight, one was for sure. You know whoever's winning is facing Roman Reigns at SummerSlam 2026. And which one of them? I smell money. Why not? So in my opinion, Obafemi is the only one left for that I want on that tournament to win. And WWE, you can't mess it up. It's either Oba or it's nothing at this point. Shrezal and Jey Uso. So, and whoever wins that tournament, I would have them win the world title from Roman Reigns. Nothing against Roman, but I think after SummerSlam, I'm done. Like with Roman, he won enough world titles. He's one of two people who actually won the Universal, the WWE, and world title. Enough, okay? Enough. So I said that was one of the two booking videos in one here, and the other one was because I know the New Day is leaving WWE. I know they basically refused to resign like a month ago. And that came up with a conversation with a friend. And I thought to myself, what if New Day could have been booked better? Because the moment Kofi lost the debut title back in 2019, I felt like they haven't been booked great afterwards. It's like the moment Kofi lost the WWE title, people forget that during that 6 months as WWE champion, the guy always won, barely got pinned. Even in the tag match, he wasn't pinned, he wasn't submitted, he would still win one way or another. He was booked super strong. Then he lost. It's like the moment he lost the WWE title, oh, he got pinned really easily. I would change that. Now, I would have him being beaten by Brock Lesnar. That doesn't change, but be like a 6 to 8 minute matches where he loses it, and would have lost it not at the SmackDown before, and would have actually lost on Hell in a Cell against Brock Lesnar. Then he would still kind of feel like his confidence fading. Like remember promo where he was squashing the pancake in his hands, like basically hinting that it was hinting that he was about to have a change in attitude. And you could have that. But 2020, he would still be in the tag title division. And it would take MVP to remind him of him being of Kofi Manias, because I would have him basically at Money in the Bank 2021 win the WWE title for Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley had dominant role, but nothing came up from it. And the reason why I would make it happen, I would make him win the WWE title there. And a month later at SummerSlam, he was facing Goldberg. Like I don't care about Bobby Lashley's Goldberg. You have Bobby Lashley win at SummerSlam. Doesn't need interference. He can do it fair. But after the match, the action of after the match of Bobby Lashley that draw basically the ire of New Day, because they try basically the Hurt Business try to attack Kofi Kingston after the match, and they do, like Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin, MVP, Bobby Lashley. They really try to put Kofi out of action. That draws out Big E and Xavier Woods. And that gives extra motivation for Big E, because the Money in the Bank match winner. And I know they're both separated by brand, but it's like it reminds them, you know what? I'm telling you this, the moment I cash in, I'm not cashing it on Smack, I'm cashing on you. You just never know when it's going to happen. And it leads to Biggie indeed cashing the WWE title on Bobby Lashley. And he kind of does more in advance. And he wins the WWE title. And he loses it, again, like in real life, to Brock Lesnar at the day one pay-per-view in 2022. Now, even Big E, the moment he lost the BB title, he lost it to Lesnar again. And again, like the New Day, they just reunite like there was no other business. Like Big E was supposed to be in his own. The moment he lost, he went back to tag team divisions. And knowing that Big E was like near the rope, it's like I I would say that New Day stays as a team, but everybody goes for glory. You could have Big E at least try and get the Universal title from Roman Reigns. It doesn't happen. Kofi goes to the IC title, and Xavier Woods tries for the US title. So you could have basically Kofi Kingston in 2022 actually win the IC title one last time over Sami Zayn or Shinsuke Nakamura, but then lose it to Sami Zayn. So you can have that. And they go again back to tag division. Then it leads to 2024. Basically, after this, they start basically this. It starts to lead to an heel turn, and maybe have basically the same thing. They turn heel on Biggie because I don't think anything else could have matched there. But it leads to heel turn. They win every tag match or every singles match they're in by themselves. They cheat, but they do it by themselves. You can have a here's a T-shirt. You could have basically the New Day basically have no Big E, as in no Big E Langston, no Big E, like Biggie the rapper. So no Big E, no Big E T-shirt. Kofi's in the final four. The Royal Rumble gets eliminated by Jey Uso, while Cena eliminates Logan Paul, and you have the same ending. The you know Jey Uso still win the Rumble, going to WrestleMania, and win the world title. Whereas, like in real life, the New Day win the W tag titles at WrestleMania 41, but lose in May. Then, after so many towns from Jey Uso of losing tag titles, Kofi finally decided to challenge Jey Uso for the one title he never had, and that's the World Heavyweight title. Being the WWE champion, another World Heavyweight champion. And it happens on Raw and leads to Kofi doing the unthinkable and actually win the world title from Jey Uso as a heel. Why? Because Big E goes like slides in the ring, and you think, okay, he really hates the New Day. He really hates the New Day, but he hits Jey Uso with the big ending. And it leads to Kofi in one Trouble in Paradise 1, 2, 3. Kofi Kingston wins the World Heavyweight title against Jey Uso. And the reason I would have done that is like I hated that WrestleMania 41, both world champions, both world title wins end up to be basically a band-aid fix because they lost it back to the previous champion. Cody won the title back from Cena. Gunther won the title back from Jey Uso. It's basically both world title wins were like a flop in a way. So if you're gonna lose it back, title, they don't have to be long title reigns, but why can't you lose it back to somebody else? I'm gonna have Kofi win it, and he right now having Gunther win the world title because right now it's going to the point that guy has gotten too many world titles that I'm not even excited for him to win the WWE title because he's been champion way too many times at this point. I would have Kofi Kingston carry that title like for 2, 3 months up to SummerSlam where CM Punk does win the world title and Seth Rollins cash in like in real life. And I thought that would have basically made Kofi Kingston the New Day basically more developed like this. You could have, in the meanwhile, Xavier Woods could have won a one U.S. title match, like one U.S. title. Could have basically been Austin Theory as a face and win the Kingdom Reigns. In that case, it's like, that actually would have been booked better. But that's just my opinion. So that was a bonus video. Let me know what you think. Comments down below. I'll see you guys later.